So the general managers are back from their summer holidays with a couple of huge trades in the Ontario Hockey League. I was out doing some mini golf with the kids, and when I got home, I got a message on my phone saying, "Hey, there's been a couple of big trades." And lo and behold, well, we've got a couple of blockbusters. So let's dive right into it. First things first, the Brampton Steelheads, they mean business. They have acquired Carson Rehkopf from the Kitchener Rangers for 10 draft picks. That includes 3 second rounders for 2025, 2026, and 2027. So Rehkopf, he's a Seattle Kraken prospect. Last season put up 52 goals, 43 assists, good for 95 points in 60 games. So another offensive threat has arrived with this Brampton Steelheads team. He was actually a key factor for the Rangers' red hot start last season. If you remember, Kitchener wasn't really picked to challenge for top spot in the Midwest Division, but last year they just seemed unbeatable, and Carson Rehkopf was finding the back of the net at will. And for the Steelheads, hoping that'll continue again going into this season. For the Rangers, right now, it just looks like they're building for the future. It's been mentioned a few times before how the 2027 Memorial Cup is a key focus right now for Kitchener, as they're a team that wants to potentially host the Memorial Cup the next time it's in Ontario. And they're going to need to acquire picks and young talent to be able to successfully achieve that goal. And I think moves like this, getting 10 picks for Carson Rehkopf, puts them in the right direction. So a great opportunity for them to acquire these picks. Unfortunately for Rangers fans, seeing a player like Rehkopf move on to another team has to be hard, but the future, I think, is bright for the Kitchener Rangers making a move like this. As for Brampton, we already saw them as a potential favorite in the Eastern Conference, but this just kind of cements it a little bit more because they already have players like Porter Martone, Angus McDonnell, Luke Misa, Jack Ivankovic, Ryerson Leanders, just to name a few. And then you add the offensive weapon in Carson Rehkopf, and this team, they look really good right now. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Obviously, they have to develop chemistry. We got to see when players come back from NHL camps. And if you're a Brampton Steelheads fan, you got to be happy too with this trade because it's happening before the season even gets underway. So a chance to have Rehkopf settle in, get used to his new surroundings, and also see him play a full season, not just from a trade deadline. Typically, we see these big trades at the trade deadline, and the players are only there for a couple of months and then they move on. But this is a chance for him to play a full season, kind of like what the London Knights did last year when they acquired Michael Simpson at the start of the regular season. You get a full year out of these players, and really, they're able to immerse themselves and understand the systems a little bit better, and even for the coaching staff to get to know the player a little bit more. So I really like this move for the Steelheads, getting the big trade out of the way early on. Obviously, I think they're not done. I think the Steelheads are going to look to acquire a few more pieces as the season goes. But I'd also keep a watch on Adam Van Tilly. They selected him 13th overall in the 2024 OHL priority selection. Right now, he's signed with the Chicago Steel of the USHL, but there's always that chance that he decides to report to the Ontario Hockey League. We saw that happen with Fitzgerald in Peterborough. He signed with Green Bay, but decided to join Peterborough instead. So it is still possible because I think the Steelheads team looking to be competitive, not just this season, but for at least another season after. So I'd keep an eye out on Van Tilly because a lot of people thought Valentini would be the first overall pick in the 2024 OHL priority selection, but slipped off a little bit and then was also talking about his options with the NCAA route. And that's why he ended up falling to 13th overall. And the Steelheads, who already have a really solid group, took the chance, and we'll see if that chance pays off in the coming months. Also, there was a second trade that took place. The Kingston Frontenacs, they continue to make moves this summer. This time, they've acquired Cedric Guindon from the Owen Sound Attack for 5 draft picks. That includes 1 second in 2027. Guindon, he's a solid two-way centerman who took a bit of a step back offensively last year in Owen Sound, registering 26 goals, 31 assists, 57 points, which a little lower from the year before, but I do like this pickup. Cedric Guindon, always a fun player to watch out on the ice. He's kind of reminds me of a Patrice Bergeron type player, so I think that's going to sound great for Kingston Frontenacs fans. And for Kingston, it has been a busy summer. This is now the second overager they've acquired. First, they picked up Nolan Lalonde from the Saginaw Spirit before the trade break. And they also sent away Thibodeau to the Flint Firebirds. So some change there in the dressing room for sure for the Kingston Frontenacs. And I think Kingston, they're a team that's looking to make things interesting in the East Division. Oshawa, Brantford, seen as maybe the two favorites in that division, but Kingston, with these moves, they might threaten for a top spot in that division. We'll have to wait and see how the Oshawa Generals and Brantford Bulldogs respond after seeing this trade, bringing in Guindon from the Owen Sound Attack. But as for Owen Sound, they now have 7 OA candidates going into next season, so moves had to be made. This is a team I think that's looking to maybe retool a bit, maybe a bit of a rebuild going forward, because they've had a couple of seasons now that were a little on the disappointing side. A lot of people figured this is an Owen Sound Attack team that should have some deep runs in the playoffs, but the last 2 years knocked out in the first round. So I think for the Owen Sound Attack, they're recouping their picks. And after seeing what Carson Rehkopf went for in the Brampton Kitchener trade, you have to wonder, is Colby Barlow next? Because obviously getting 10 draft picks, if that's the standard now, that would go a long way for the Owen Sound Attack going forward. So the Attack, they're going to be a team to watch closely. Does Colby Barlow end up changing teams before the start of the season, or will his name be a focus heading towards the OHL trade deadline in January? So a lot of intriguing situations developing right now in the Midwest Division and also in the Eastern Conference. Now, sticking with the Owen Sound Attack, Attack graduate Denny Gore, he has signed his first professional contract. He signed an AHL deal with the Calgary Wranglers. So pretty exciting to see, because I really like Denny Gore's style. Whenever the Attack played in Barrie, he was always fun to watch. He's a quick player with a great hockey sense, and also great at finding the back of the net. I know his size is a bit of a factor. He's 5'11", but last season put up 36 goals, 60 assists, 96 points. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for him in his professional hockey career. And he's going to get that started with the Calgary Wranglers in the American Hockey League. And finally, Marek Vanacker, the latest OHLer to sign his 3-year NHL entry-level contract. He signed with the Chicago Blackhawks after they selected him 27th overall in the 2024 NHL entry draft. It's really impressive to see how many OHLers are signing their NHL agreements already. Last week, it was Ben Danford with the Toronto Maple Leafs. We had Cole Baudouin going to Utah, and also Beckett Seneca, Zane Parekh, Sam Dickinson. I think I'm missing a player or two there, but there's been so many who've signed, which is really great to see the OHLers being picked in the first round at the NHL draft and then signing those agreements already. So some great stuff. And for Vanacker, he was outstanding last year with the Brantford Bulldogs, putting up 36 goals, 46 assists, 82 points on a Bulldogs team that challenged for top spot in the Eastern Conference. And for Brantford, looking for another strong showing again this year. Obviously, we just talked about that trade with the Kingston Frontenacs, which makes that East Division very interesting. And I'll be doing a full preview coming up in the next few weeks. I want to see how the trades all settle out, and then training camp, of course, before making any sort of predictions. I don't know if I'm going to make a full prediction, but I'm going to do a bit of a preview looking at the teams that are going to challenge for top spot and maybe teams that are looking to the future, so to speak. So anyways, that's how I see it from the booth, as trade season is well underway, as a training camp about 3 weeks away, I believe, give or take. Anyways, thank you very much for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if we have more trades coming up, I'll do more videos. We'll talk to you soon.